All right, hello everybody. Today is Thursday, June 16th, and this is the Team Fit Revolution weekly call. My name is Alexa Luckenbach, and I am going to be taking over this week for Lauren because she is currently, I don't know where she is. She's somewhere up in the air. She's flying to Spain, and I'm excited though because I have something tonight in store for you guys, a little system that I have had in place with my business for a while that I think has been really crucial to helping me in moving my business forward and being the most efficient, especially the first year of my business because, I was working a full-time job when I first got started, just like most of you guys. So this really helped me a lot with getting more done in less time and just being able to, always be in contact with people so that I always had people to talk to, always had conversations going, and always was hitting Success Club. I've hit Success Club every month that I've been working my business as a coach. So, and I think that this is a big part of it. So let me go ahead and share my screen really quick because I've got a presentation. All right. So drafts. Tonight we're going to be talking all about creating a draft system and using drafts in your business. And just to start off, you guys, just to kind of give you some little bullet points as to what I'm going to be talking about specifically. So I'm going to be talking about why drafts are important. Why is this something that you should be implementing into your business? How do you set them up? Where should they be located? That is a big thing that I think we should cover, making sure that you have drafts in several different places, not just one place. And I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that. And then figuring out how to come up with your drafts and, giving you some ideas so that you can start to create your own drafts and start implementing them in your business. All right, so like I said at the beginning, my name is Alexa Luckenbach. For those of you who don't know me, I am a 6-star diamond elite coach, and I've been using drafts in my business pretty much since I was an emerald. So I hit emerald in my business pretty early on, first month that I was working my business as a coach. And like I said, I was working a full-time job. So for me, I was like, okay, how am I going to be able to really get this business going? Be able to quit my job as fast as humanly possible, because that was my goal. That was my why right when I got started with coaching. And I needed to figure out a system, right? I don't know, for whatever reason, that just came to me pretty early on in my business. And I kind of realized after I started to get some momentum with my conversations and started to really implement the 5-step invite process, which I don't know if you guys know the 5-step invite process, but that's what I have been using since I was a baby coach. I saw this video from Tommy Migrant, who is this amazing top coach, and he had done a Super Saturday presentation talking about the 5-step invite process. And I remember watching that and was like, wow, okay, this makes sense. And I started to implement that into my business. And it really is 5 steps. And so I found myself kind of sending the same messages over and over because I was going through the steps with everybody, you know what I mean? And so I was like, okay, well, you know what? I'm retyping this message over and over. Maybe I should save this so that I don't have to keep retyping the same thing over and over, right? And from there, I just created basically a draft for almost everything that I kind of came across. I have a draft for when people ask me what's Shakeology, or if they think Shakeology is expensive, or they're asking about coaching, or if they're asking about a challenge group, or if I'm checking in on them and they said that they're still struggling, I have a response back to that. And I just literally every time I felt like I was sending a good message, I send a message out and I was like, oh, that was good. You guys know that feeling? When you send out a message and you're like, ooh, I don't know what I just did there, but that sounded good. I would save that as a draft and I would reuse it. And I found myself being able to just always not only have a conversation going because I was able to talk to people a lot quicker, you know what I mean? Because I was going through this invite process, but it also was creating just this flow, this system for, my conversations when I would invite people, you know what I mean? So, and I still use that system to this day. I still use the 5-step invite process. I still use those drafts that I set up to this day. So that's what I want to share with you guys tonight, is really setting that up for yourself so that you can create a similar system and flow in your business. Okay, so first up, why are drafts important? How is this going to help you? Well, I think I probably already told you guys on why drafts are important, but I'm going to keep going with this anyways because I made slides. Okay, so I love this quote. Productivity is never an accident. It is always the result of a commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort. I saw this and I was like, yes, for real. You can't just stumble upon being productive. You have to be very intentional about being productive. And I really believe that implementing systems into your business is part of being productive. That's the intelligent planning part. That's working smarter, not harder. And it's just adding in drafts is part of that. You know what I mean? It creates this flow in this system for your business. So what is a draft? Well, like I said, it's a message that you find yourself sending over and over again. It's basically like a template that you can build off of. A lot of times you guys, like I will start my conversation by putting in my template or my draft, and then I'll kind of tweak it based on the person or their goals or what we're talking about. You know what I mean? So that it's still customized to them, but I'm saving time. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting there typing all this stuff out over and over again. I'm just kind of going through and tweaking it really quick based on that person. And honestly, like a lot of times I don't even need to really tweak it, because the 5-step invite process, all that it is just asking people questions and relating back to them. So that's what I would do. I would like insert the question, and I would obviously like go in and relate back to them based on what they said. But it helped to have that template there. It's like a foundation that I could just kind of tweak versus, like I said, retyping everything over and over. And it creates a flow and a system for your conversations. That is like the best thing. Like I said, you guys, like I have like no, like when it comes to my invites and my process with people, like I always know what it is that I'm saying. Like I always have the next question in mind. I know exactly the process and the steps that I'm taking people through when it comes to, helping them get started in a challenge group. And a lot of that has helped, or what has helped me a lot with that is having my drafts in place and creating it's basically modeled, like I said, off that 5-step invite process, which is basically asking people questions about them, right? Digging in deep with them, and then offering up a third-party tool. So I always offer people up a video, and I have the 21-day fix video as one of my drafts, because 9 out of 10 times people struggle with nutrition, and 21-day fix is usually what I recommend for that. So that's in there as a template, you know what I mean? And then I give them the information, and so it's like, it's the same process that I take people through. So it just creates this really easy flow and system for myself, so that I know exactly where my conversations are at. And just so that you can be effective in your business, and you're not just like sitting there like twiddling your thumbs like, okay, what is it that I'm supposed to say next? You know what I mean? You know what it is that you got to send, because you've got a system in place. Time saver. Yeah, I said that already. I kind of talked about these things. But yeah, you guys, like working smarter, not harder. That's really what this is all about, because like I said at the beginning, most people that get started with coaching are working full time, have other things going on, school, kids, life, right? So we all need to be the most efficient with our time as we can be. And just having as many systems in place is what will help you with that. And that's what this does. Not only does the 5-step invite process in itself, like have this system in place so that you know what it is that you're talking about and the kind of steps that you're taking people through in your conversations, but then having a draft of this process just makes the process even quicker. You know what I mean? Okay, so how do I set my drafts up? I'm going to take you guys through a couple different ways and places that you should have your drafts in place, because I think that this is really important to talk about. So, there's definitely, obviously, so many different places that you are having conversations with people, right? You're having conversations on Instagram. Maybe you're talking to people on Snapchat or, through email or whatever, right? And you need to make sure that you have drafts in all of those different places and not just one place, because once again, you got to just be the most efficient and effective with your time. And creating a system means covering all your bases. You know what I mean? If you're talking to people in 3 different places, you got to make sure that you have a draft or a system in place for all those places. You know what I mean? So first off, I know that a lot of you guys are having conversations on Instagram through DM, right? Or just through comments. So that in itself, you've got to make sure that you're saving your drafts in a note on your phone. I'm pretty sure, I am an all iPhone person. I've had an iPhone for the last 5 years, so I know nothing about Androids, but I'm pretty sure you guys have a notes section, right? So you've got to make sure that you have all of your drafts saved there. On top of that, this is helpful for if you're talking to people on Snapchat. I talk to people on Snapchat all the time because I'm talking about my challenge groups on Snapchat. And if you're talking to people on Facebook Messenger, because you can't save your drafts in Facebook, so you got to have it somewhere on your phone, right? So Facebook Messenger, Snapchat, Instagram, all of those places, if you're going to be working on your phone in any way, which I would say 99% of you guys are all working on your phone, save your drafts in a note on your phone, okay? Now, Gmail. I have primarily been using Gmail since the beginning of my business. I know a lot of you guys do that as well. So if you haven't set up canned responses, that is a great, you got to go do that. You got to save your drafts in canned responses. Basically, and what I used to actually do when I first got started with Gmail in my business, I had my draft saved as a draft in my inbox, right? And I would just open it up and copy and paste. And I was like, whatever, that's fast. But canned responses, honestly, you guys, is even faster than that. As you can see here, this is actually a screenshot that I took today. Shows you my canned responses, excuse me, for my Gmail. And it literally, it's just like a little pop-up right here in your message. You can see I have all my templates there. All you do is click on it and boom, it populates right in there. So you don't even have to copy and paste. It's right there in your message. That's one of the things I love about canned responses. And it's really easy to set up. All you got to do, go to Google, type in Gmail canned responses, and it will show you how to set it up. Super easy. Now, Streak. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I recently just got on the Streak train, and OMG, it's freaking amazing. I know that not everybody is necessarily like wanting to dive into setting up Streak, but at the same time, I know that a lot of people have. So if you're using Streak or you're thinking about it, you got to make sure that you're using the snippets. That's what this is a screenshot of. It's basically almost exactly like canned responses. I actually like it even better than canned responses because it even like divides it out by your pipeline. I don't know if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. It's because I'm referring to Streak stuff. There's tons of videos on YouTube from coaches on how to use Streak. So go look at that if you're confused and don't know what it's about. But I just wanted to touch on it really quick because I know that a lot of people do use it. But I like Streak. I literally just got it started this week, and it has its own little canned responses right in there. It's got like the exact same thing. So if you are using Streak, make sure that you're using the snippets part because that's literally what it is. It's saving drafts or templates in there for you. Okay, now if you are writing on or you're using a like page, you can use save replies. This is the next place that you should be saving your drafts. And let me also say, guys, if you're using any of these things, you need to be setting up your draft. So if you are using a like page in Streak and Gmail, or not Gmail, Gmail and Streak are kind of like the same. So if you're using Streak and a like page and Instagram, you need to have drafts on your phone, on Streak, and on your like page. Like you need to make sure you're using it in all of these places so that you're not like, oh, I need to go back to my, you know what I mean? Like I need to pull up this so that I can copy and paste it. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have it in all those places just to make it even quicker for yourself. I hope that makes sense. But okay, so like page, they basically have the exact same thing. They're all the same thing, you guys. You literally just save your draft right in there. And you can even customize it. I think on both Streak and in the saved replies and like page, you can even customize it a little bit more. But if you're using a like page for your business, make sure that you've got your replies set up if you're starting to use your messenger. I would recommend if you are using your like page, like obviously start to transition your messages over to your like page so that you can experience all of the amazing benefits of the like page inbox. Because unfortunately, I mean, it's not unfortunate, like that's why they made the like page inbox so kick-ass, so that people would make sure that they're moving over there for their like page, or if they're running their business, they're doing it through their like page and not their personal page. So your personal page isn't going to have all these cool things set up, is what I'm trying to say. Make sure that you're, but if you are on your like page, make sure that you have this set up. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so how do you come up with your drafts? What are some ideas that you can use? Okay, so just to give you some ideas on how to kind of get some things brewing in your brain on what you can create drafts for, literally everything. But like I said at the beginning, what are some messages that you find yourself sending often? So conversation starters, right? Birthday messages, for example, like that's something that you can create a draft of. Or like, hey girl messages, you know what I mean? A common message that you are using to start conversations. Or like on Instagram, you're sending people messages saying, hey, I just came across your page. There's some hashtags. I really love all of your posts. When did you get started on your health and fitness journey? You know what I mean? Like those kind of things definitely need to be saved in a draft. Follow-ups, those and several different follow-ups, because you should be following up multiple times with people. right? I am the follow-up queen. I will repeat that till the day I die, you guys. You should be following up multiple times. 1 time is not enough. 2 times is not enough. I honestly don't think 3 times is enough. So make sure that you have multiple different follow-ups saved in your drafts, okay? I have 4 different follow-ups saved. Actually, I have altogether 7 different follow-up messages saved. 4 for challenger follow-ups and 3 for coach follow-ups. So create multiple different follow-up messages because you're going to be talking to people and following up multiple times. You don't want to be sending the same message to them over and over, right? Like I said, the 5-step invite process messages. So, those questions that you're asking people when you're going through the process of helping them get started in a challenge group. How is your fitness? How is your nutrition? How do you have support at home? I have a recommendation for this amazing program called the 21 Day Fix. Here's a video. All of those steps should be in a draft. Objections. I have a bunch of different objection templates depending on what people's objection is. So make sure that you have, that's another one. If you feel like you have a good response back one day to somebody when they give you an objection, make that bad boy into a draft so that you can make sure that you always have confidence in responding back to those. But if anything, you guys, we have some amazing resources to help you with overcoming objections. So, but just make sure that you have something in there to help you with that, so you're not bumbling on your words, And then last, what is XYZ? So, for example, what is a challenge group? What is Shakeology? Having explanations. Gosh, I can't talk today. Explanations for those things, because people ask them, right? You get people asking the same questions over and over. So make that step into a draft. Obviously, anything that you feel was a positive conversation. So if you had a successful conversation or somebody that you felt you did a good job of going through the process with them, or they it was successful, they signed up and joined your challenge group or something, go back through that conversation, see the questions you asked, and make that into a draft. It needs to be you though, right? There's so many different scripts and templates and all that kind of stuff, and I'm going to give you guys some examples, but I wrote all of this stuff out. So it's not going to sound like you, right? It's going to sound like me. So just make sure you take the general message and make it into your own, okay? People can see through that stuff. You wouldn't think so, but people really can tell whether you're being genuine or not, or if they can tell if it's, doesn't sound like you. So, if somebody has a draft and they have like 5 million exclamation points and you don't use that in your post, people are going to be able to see, you know what I mean? That's the word I'm trying to say. I don't know. Moving on. Still need help. Okay, so you guys, ideas on what drafts to make and what drafts that you can start to implement in your business. All right, so I kind of went through a couple of these, but just to give you guys some ideas. And by the way, side note, I'll download these slides in this presentation and upload it into the team page so that you guys can go through it, okay? So if you're like, wait, I don't have all this stuff, don't worry, I'll upload it right after this, okay? Okay, so new conversations, like I said, the hey girl messages or the DMs when you're like reaching out to people that you meet or whatever. Make sure you have that stuff saved in drafts. Objections, definitely the money thing, because that's always the most common one that we get, right? But other common objections, time or, whatever, especially with coaching. I have drafts for a bunch of different, objections that I get for coaching. And I actually have different videos saved with each of those too, so that if I get a specific objection, I can respond back with a video that addresses that. Of course, what is Shakeology? What is a challenge group? A bunch of different follow-ups. Like I said, at least 3 or 4. Invites. So invite messages for all of your, make sure you're covering all your bases. Free groups, paid challenge groups, coaching invites, all of that stuff needs to have a draft. And then your story, right? That's a really important one. I have my story as part of, that's something that I share like right at the beginning of my conversations, usually with people. It's really simple when it comes to sharing your story. Where were you before? And how has Beachbody or challenge groups or coaching or whatever it is you're talking about helped you get to where you're at now? Like that's the most simple way I can share how to put your story together. Just put that into a couple of sentences and put it into a draft. Okay, so again, you guys, I'll print all this stuff off, so don't feel like you have to like copy this or whatever. But here's an example of a challenge group invite. And I actually got this. I liked this one. I found it. I was looking for some different ideas online. But it's, Hey, so-and-so, long time no chat. I really hope you don't mind me messaging you about something like this. I don't know if this would be even interest in you, but I am running a 3-week online fitness accountability group this month to help people really stick to their health and fitness and be committed. These groups are a lot of fun. We build a strong bonding community to help one another through struggles and success. I thought you might be interested because enter XYZ, because I would never invite somebody if I haven't formed them and build a relationship, and if I didn't have a reason yet for why I want to invite them. If you don't have a reason, then that means you need to keep building the relationship. So I thought you might be interested because you said that you are going on that cruise to Mexico next month, and I thought that this might be something you'd want to do right before your trip. If I gave you details to read over, would you be willing to give it or to check it out and see if it would be a good fit, right? Like, that's perfect conversation starter, invite message for a challenge group. Here's a couple different ones. A hey girl message, just saw your pic coming up in my newsfeed from Mexico. I always say the Mexico one for my example. I don't know why, maybe because I always want to be in Mexico, I guess. But I saw your picture come up in my newsfeed from Mexico, wanted to say, hey, it's been forever. How have things been? How was your trip? Like, super simple. That's the kind of ways that I start conversations with people. Based off stuff that I've seen in the newsfeed or see that they have going on recently in their life. Coaching invite to somebody that you talk to about coaching, inviting them to a webinar. I want to personally invite you. I do this with the XXX, so you can literally just copy and paste it, boom, right in there. I thought of you because XYZ. So always making sure that you're like editing that stuff, obviously, before you send out your drafts. But you know what I mean? Like, this just helps you so that you can send out this stuff so much quicker and easier. You know what I mean? And if you're working from a list, which you all should be, you will know exactly who it is that you are inviting and who you're talking to. And of course, like, what is a challenge group? What is Shakeology? Like, these are just examples, but I think it's so important to have these on hand so that, like I said, you can, when people ask you this, you're not bumbling on your words. You're like, I don't know, or you know what I mean? If you're in a rush or something, you can have confidence in responding back to them. Couple more examples. Hey lady, how's your, this is the one that one of the follow-ups that I use, like I've still been using for the last 2 years. Hey lady, how's your week been going? I just wanted to follow up with you and see if you've thought more about getting started on your health and fitness goals. From your first email, it sounded like you're ready to make a change and finally get going. And I would love to help you out. Are you ready to get started? Let me know and hope to hear from you soon. Boom. It's just an example for a follow-up. Like, all of my follow-ups really sound pretty much like that, you guys, but I kind of just change the words. You know what I mean? I paraphrase it and change it. And I got this money objection actually from, I don't know, I found this resource online, but I really liked this. It's using the feel, felt, found method when it comes to objections, which is what I use also. I totally know how you feel. I felt the exact same way when I first heard about coaching these programs. I don't know if you've read my story, but I actually told my coach no for 3 months in a row because of finances. But I knew that if I didn't give this a shot, I would never know if this could be the one thing that did work for me. So I made a ton of sacrifices at first. No more out of the house purchases like Starbucks, gas station, energy drinks, eating out, and found that there was a lot more room in my budget when you take those things out. I know it's scary, trust me, but sometimes you have to do things out of your comfort zone if you want to get new results. Love this. I kind of tweaked it. This is kind of like a combo of what I say with my money objection things too, but you know what I mean? Just like relating back to people and having confidence in how you're going to respond. Whenever people give me any sort of objection with money, this is kind of what I say back to them. You know what I mean? And, not every time, but sometimes I have people who come back and say, you know what, you're right. Like, I need to do this, type me up. So I turn an objection 180 degrees around. I've done that before with the same message that I've sent out for years. So I really think it's important to get this stuff set up, you guys. Like I said, I've been using this consistently. I've been hitting Success Club consistently. I think that there is somewhat of a correlation there. Okay, so if you need a little bit more in-depth help with getting set up with drafts, those of you that are listening live, we have, myself and Sarah Try are hosting a workshop this Saturday morning. So 2 days from now, 6 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Eastern, going to be creating drafts. Okay, so yes, this is different from this call that we just had. The workshop on Saturday is actually going to be you sitting down and creating and putting your drafts into place. So you learned all about it just now, right? So this will be your chance to then implement, take action, and get your drafts done. Okay, so if you need help or if you want to get that stuff done and hold yourself to it, go register and sign up. I'm not sure if Lauren posted the link in the team page, but I'll be sure to go make sure it's in there and post it in there so that you guys can sign up. But yes, it is a different call. It's basically the next step right after this, right? The next step, you know now why and what to do and where to save them. Now it's all about taking action and implementing. So that's what this call on Saturday, this workshop is going to be. All right, you guys, so let me stop the screen share. I see there's a bunch of chats here really quick. Let's see. Will the workshop be recorded? So it will be recorded and up for 48 hours, but after 48 hours, it will be taken down. So yes and no. Well, yes, it will be recorded, but it will be taken down on, what is that, Monday? Monday. Let's see. I just got all kinds of organized, found a super great flow with Streak. Love it. Yeah, I found this really great playlist of videos from a coach. Her name is Brooke Lipoff, Lipoff. So type in Brooke Lipoff Streak in YouTube and you will come up with her streak training. That's what I used, you guys, to get it set up. She goes step by step how she uses it for Beachbody, how she sets it up. It's amazing. So if you've been thinking about Streak, or if you're somebody who's been struggling with using a spreadsheet for contact lists, one of my coaches that I've been working with this month, she has been struggling for a year with the spreadsheet contact list. And here, let me stop my screen share. And we realized, she was like, okay, I can't get into a flow with this. And so I was like, okay, let's try this streak thing. I hadn't tried it yet, but I had heard all these great things about it. And she started to use it. She's like, oh my gosh, this is what I needed, like, from day one. So if you're somebody who's been struggling with your contact list or staying organized, maybe trying something new like Streak is something that you should do. But I really, really enjoy it. I've only got it, installed for a couple days now, but I'm really loving it. Let's see, is there any other questions? I don't think. Does anybody have any other questions before I get off? Is Streak free? Yeah, and you can obviously, they have like upgrade options if you want like more storage and more whatever, more options, just like everything else. So yes, there is a free version though that you can use. And I think they have trials for the upgrade version too. Awesome. Any other questions, you guys? Yes, I will upload these slides to the group right after this call. Courtney. Anything else, you guys, before I hop off? No? Okay, I'm going to stop the recording then.